Hello, fellow TV lovers. I'm Matthew, and this is The Worst, a show where we dissect fictional characters and their terrible traits. Today we're talking about the world's worst flight attendant, Cassie Bowden. Since we're talking about the flight attendant, it only feels appropriate for me to have vodka minis, like on an airplane, because that's all she would drink in the first season. Not the second season, though. She is sober, so far. The Flight Attendant is a dark comedy, thriller, mystery situation following Cassie Bowden, a flight attendant, and she's on a flight to Thailand, and she starts flirting with one of the guests on the plane. She has a great night with him in Thailand. She wakes up the next morning, and he is dead as a doornail. Blood everywhere, throat slashed. She's like, what the happened? But she can't remember, so she has to try and retrace her steps, because she drank 15 bottles of wine and vodka and everything the night before. She does have a drinking problem that is chronicled throughout the entire season. She wakes up, she's trying to put the pieces together, and this is where she starts becoming the worst. Cassie is constantly making the worst decisions, starting right from the beginning. When she wakes up next to the dead guy, Alex Sokoloff, had to remember his name. Instead of calling 911 to see what happens, she just assumes in her mind that, I did this. So she starts cleaning up the crime scene. Big mistake, huge.
Cass, I have to ask you this. Why the did you clean everything up? I don't know.
I get that she was shocked and really scared to go to jail in Thailand, but at the same time, it's if you didn't do anything, you didn't do anything. I don't think you would black out and then murder someone. I'm not that kind of drunk. After she's trying to clean up the crime scene, idiot, housekeeping comes in, she slams the door, she's he's still asleep, putting a timestamp on the fact that he's still asleep, whatever, that you're still in the room, you're making a big mistake here. Then she leaves, but she leaves a ton of stuff that incriminates her, like her ID. She left her ID in the hotel room with the dead guy. Not a good look. Fast forward to the new season now, she is sober and she's still making bad decisions. She's hiding everything from her friends, her closest friend, who just so happened to be her lawyer, that helped her navigate this whole weird unknown with waking up next to the guy dead. She is still lying to her best friend in this next season because she doesn't want to get her involved, but in doing so, you're just digging yourself in a deeper hole. She makes the worst decisions, therefore that's why she's the worst. She always gets too invested in things. If you woke up to a dead person, would you go to their funeral? Because I don't know if I would. But Cassie did. Cassie went to his funeral, putting herself in the middle of the hurricane.
Honey, did you bring me to 3C's funeral?
The CIA hires her to be a secret agent with them. So that's where the second season kind of picks up. She's still a flight attendant. That's her main public-facing job. But on the side, she does some CIA secret following people around and trying to put pieces together, helping them out, whatever. Do those roles actually exist? I would do terrible at that job. But she gets so invested in some of the situations that she puts herself in danger. So in this first episode of the second season, she's following this guy around. She gets this close to the car that he was getting into, and the car blows up, and she flies back, and she lays on her back. She's the whole thing. And then she can't remember. She keeps hearing this loud noise, and she's this all the time. And she's freaking out. She gets way too involved in the lives of other people, and therefore that makes her the worst. She never tells the truth. Cassie never tells the truth, even though it could save her from getting in a lot of trouble. And it really is kind of the crux of her biggest flaw. She just sort of trips over the truth. She doesn't actually say everything that happened, even though she's so innocent. She's not a murderer, or is she? I feel this season is kind of going in that direction where she might be a little sus. There's no way someone can make this many bad decisions in a row without it being on purpose. In the first season, she leaves Alex Sokoloff in Thailand, dead as a doornail. She gets back on her flight back to the States to do her job. As soon as they land at JFK, they're hey, we want to talk to all of the flight attendants that were on Alex Sokoloff's flight to Thailand. Then they all go into this room to go talk to the FBI. Besides Cassie, she thinks she's going to make a run for it. So she starts running out the door. You're not going to get anywhere at an airport, by the way. There's this thing called TSA. You're not going to get out of this just because you work for the airline. So then they catch her, and they're why did you run? She was oh my God, I had somewhere to be, I can't remember, whatever. And then they're have you seen this man? And she goes, no. Big mistake. Well, now there's camera footage of them, having fun in Thailand. They have literal proof that she lied. So she lied to the FBI. Number one corporation you shouldn't lie to. They're gonna catch you. She lied to the FBI the first time she saw them. Then the second time she sees them, she's so nervous that she literally just vomits out the entire story, which was the truth. But now it's like, you've already lied to them, so are they gonna believe the truth?
Fine. I met Alex on the plane. We had dinner in Bangkok, and then we went back to his hotel room. We had sex in his bedroom and the bathroom. We had sex a lot of places, and there were little towels that were shaped like elephants in a giant infinity pool. And this hotel waiter came in. He gave us very strong liquor. We got extremely drunk. But when I left the next morning, he was very, very alive.
I would like to take a moment with my client.
She looks guilty. Like, she looks beyond guilty. If you lie the first time and then tell the truth the second time, I feel like they just cancel each other out. Cassie digs herself into a hole by lying and not telling the truth. And therefore, that makes Cassie the worst. My overall opinion of The Flight Attendant is that it's an amazing show. I love it. The editing gives me a little bit of whiplash, I'm not gonna lie, because it's like cuts, like all these quick edits. But I do like it. I love Kaylee Cuoco. Like I said with Serena van der Woodsen, you can love Blake Lively but hate Serena. I can love Kaylee Cuoco and hate Cassie Bowden. That's why they're good actors. I give The Flight Attendant a 7 out of 10. I was going to give it an 8, but I don't like that she is talking to herself so many times. Especially in the second season, she's now talking to like 6 different versions of herself. She's talking to like her younger self and like her party girl self and like her year ago self. Like, it's a little campy to like cut out and like have conversations with yourself. Like, it just feels campy. So I give it a 7 out of 10, but I like it. I would recommend The Flight Attendant. I made my mom and her husband watch it with me and they liked it. They had the same feedback that I did, where like when it cuts to her talking to herself, it's a little bizarre. It's like the only thing I really don't like about it, and the whiplash edits. On a scale of subtle jerk to the absolute worst, Cassie is a reckless hot mess. To recap, Cassie Bowden always makes the worst decisions. She always gets too invested in things, and she never tells the truth. And therefore, that makes Cassie Bowden the worst. I am excited to see where the show goes from here. Like I said before, I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist, but I would like to think that like she's made so many bad decisions now that like we as an audience, like I'm starting to pay attention to it. I'm maybe like, maybe she's doing this on purpose and she actually is a bad guy. Who knows? But we'll see. You heard it here first. Thank you for watching The Worst. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And also don't forget that Cassie Bowden is the worst.